from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Coming to you live from the National News Studio. Welcome to the news. My name is Clifford Richards.
And I'm Shine Ali. Let's have a look at the headlines first.
The President says the budget proposal Urumaya outright deed handing over program is a felicitation on the farmers. The MOP fertilizer is to be sold at 9,000 rupees in the current Maha season. No official notification yet on an Inspector General of Police. Yet police duties are being carried out as usual. A professor unit for the Uva Vellassa Medical Faculty and a teaching hospital for Badulla. The expenditure at the Prime Minister's office has been reduced by 48%. Discussions to extend the humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. Well, moving on to the stories in detail. The ill full moon Poya Day, which records many important incidents in the Sasana history, falls today.
And in this connection, many meritorious activities including almsgiving, silk campaigns and meditation programs have been organized in viharas throughout the island. And today also marks the end of Katina Chivra month. According to the Buddhist history, it was also on a Poya day like today that the Lord Buddha had commenced the first Dharmaduta mission. Receiving Niyata Vivarana from Maitri Bodhisattva, the Lord Buddha meeting the Tunba Jatila, Lord Buddha's visit to the Uruvela Danawa, as well as the passing away of Arahat Sariyut Mahathera had also been reported to be taken place on an ill full moon Poya day. Another Dhamma sermon of the Dharmadipani Dhamma sermon series organized by the Prime Minister office, who was held at the temple trees this morning under the patronage of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. Dhamma sermon was delivered by committee member of the Sri Lanka Ramana Mahanikaya, Venerable Dr. Bandaravila Vimaradhamma Nayaka Thera. Meanwhile, the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation has telecast live throughout the day today the ill full moon Poya Day Sri Saddharma Varsha religious program from the Mangalaram Viharaya in Berwala. The program included silk campaign, Buddha pujas, Dhamma sermons and Dhamma discussions. Our correspondents say all places of Buddhist religious worship were filled with devotees who were attending special religious observances, and a large number of devotees were seen arriving at the Sri Dalada Maligava today to pay homage to the sacred lyrics. Large number of devotees have also participated in silk campaigns at the Sri Jayasri Mahabodhi and the Ruwanveli Mahasaya in Anuradhapura.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the export economy will be strengthened by developing every village as an entrepreneur village. He reiterates that plans are underway to set up agriculture modernization service centers in order to provide the necessary facilities. The President has made these remarks at the commencement of the first stage of the program to educate the general public on the Urumaya program in Nochiyagama, Anuradhapura today. The Entrepreneur Village program is one of the budget proposals of 2024. 2 billion rupees have been set aside through the budget for the provision of outright deeds. When foreigners acquire land in Sri Lanka, they were granted permits for the locals to engage in cultivation in these lands. In the year 1935, the Land Development Ordinance had introduced another system of permits for the provision of land deeds to the local community. However, although they had been given the right to cultivate and build, they did not have the right to either sell or transfer ownership of such lands. The President in the Budget 2024 has proposed to provide full ownership instead of the types of deeds such as Jaya Bhumi, Saumi Bhumi and also Swarna Bhumi. The program to provide deeds is scheduled to be implemented with effect from next year. President Ranil Wickremesinghe outlined the key objectives of the initiative, stating that the export economy would be significantly fortified by transforming every village into an enterprise village. He also revealed plans to establish agriculture modernization service centers, providing essential facilities to support the growth of the agricultural industry. Addressing the gathering, the President raised a pertinent question questioning the allocation of freehold land for the Shangri-La Hotel, while pondering why a similar privilege couldn't be extended to the hard-working farmers who have cultivated the land for generations. He emphasized the potential for generating foreign exchange through strategic land allocation, citing the example of providing land to Shangri-La Hotel, while underscoring the importance of modernizing the agriculture industry as a means to strengthen the local and also the export economy. Member of Parliament Duminda Disanayake expressed gratitude to the President Ranil Wickremesinghe for his leadership and the implementation of the Urume program, which grants farmers the heritage of their great-grandfathers. The Minister of State for Finance, Shehan Semasinghe, said that despite facing challenges in incorporating this proposal in 2023 budget due to the prevailing circumstances in the country, the President's commitment to the fulfilling of the people's need for land rights remained unwavering. The President's comprehensive program has not only established political stability but also has laid the foundation for social and economic stability in the country. Member of Parliament S.M. Chandrasena underscored the President's commitment to agricultural and community by highlighting the proposal in this year's budget to grant freehold deeds to farmers.
And in the meantime, the approval of the Cabinet of Ministers has been granted to reduce the price of MOP fertilizer to 9,000 rupees during the current Maha season. And the Minister Mahinda Amravira has made these remarks at the handing over of compensation to farmers in the Walava Mahavali region who had reported crop damages. Presentation of compensation has taken place at the DA Rajapaksa Hall in Ambalipitia. 1,030 farmers were benefited. 328 million rupees have been set aside as compensation on crop damages in the Walava region. The Ministries of Agriculture and Plantation Industries say the financial provisions are to be provided by the Agricultural and Agrarian Insurance Board. Farmers in Muravasihena, Mairapura, Kiri Ibanava, Chandrakabava and Agunakula Palasa were reported to have received compensations of 100,000 rupees for each hectare of land. Accordingly, the farmers have been provided compensation amounting to 1,000 lakhs of rupees. Minister Mahinda Amravira said that the existing MOP fertilizer stocks were ordered to be sold at the price of 19,500 rupees. The minister adds that they are now selling it for 9,000 rupees, incurring a loss of 10,000 rupees. All the sacrifices are being made for the well-being of the farmers. The minister further said that they all want to see the country becoming self-sufficient in rice and to export the excess stocks.
Police media spokesman and senior superintendent of police Nihal Thaldur says that no information has been received yet regarding the appointment of a new Inspector General of Police or an acting IGP, and adds that, however, official police duties are being carried out normally. Police media spokesman and senior superintendent of police Nihal Thaldur says that the former IGP has relinquished duties few days ago but has given instructions on how to carry out duties in the times ahead. The instructions are being monitored by senior DIG administration. He also said that the senior DIGs are monitoring ordinary police duties in all 9 provinces in the island.
Presidential Director General of Trade Union Saman Ratnapriya has told the media today that it is extremely unfair to engage in strikes demanding a 20,000 rupees salary increase, despite the fact that the government decided to increase the salaries of government servants and pensioners amidst the economic crisis. Presidential Director General of Trade Union Saman Ratnapriya said that the government servants are also burdened by cost of living. The government, realizing the situation, has announced a substantial salary increase for them. He also said that it is totally unjustifiable to carry work stoppages at the moment. Saman Ratnapriya further said some trade unions are trying to fulfill their political ambitions. He added that salaries could not be increased by printing money or by taking loans. The Presidential Director General of Trade Unions also said if the investors and tourists stop coming into the country due to the agitations, the ordinary masses will have to bear the adverse consequences. Construction in the Professor Unit in the Uvavellasa Medical Faculty has commenced today.
And in parallel to that, the development of the Badulla Provincial General Hospital also has been turned to a teaching hospital. Well, Sri Lanka's 12th medical faculty has been established at the Uvavellasa University in Badulla. It was due to a request made from the government by Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva that construction has begun on a professor unit for the benefit of students following degree courses at the medical faculty of the Uvavellasa University. An anticipated cost of the project is 2.26 billion rupees. The proposed building will be comprised of 10 stories. The construction is scheduled to be completed by December 2025. The specialists' medical division of physiotherapy, surgery, pediatrics, obstetrics and psychotherapy are to be established at the professor unit. Initially, a 50 batch of students are to be enrolled for the studies in February next year. The University Grants Commission hopes that these students, upon completion of a 4-year study, would be able to commence their training in the campus. The inaugural ceremony, presided over by the Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva, was also attended by State Minister Chamara Sampath Sanayaka and Chancellor of the University Consultant Physician Jayanta Balawardana and Chairman of the University Grants Commission, Professor Sampath Amaratunga. Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva says that the President says more doctors and engineers should be created in the country. The Minister also said that they should create the necessary environment by subjecting the entire university system to a change in order to produce professionals suited to the needs of the modern world.
Moving on, the elephant-human conflict creates an extremely tormenting environment to both man and the beast. The wild elephants in the scene is an animal which frequently storms into the villages of Diabaduma, Konduruava, Ihilkuluvalava, Katukeliava and Pekkuluma in the Alahara Divisional Secretariat Division in Polonnaruwa. Residents are being subjected to extreme difficulties as a result of wild elephants of the Giritale Proctorate in Min area invading villages in search of food by breaking electric fences surrounding the villages. Many wild elephants are reported to be entering villages between hours of 4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Carcass of an elephant calf dangled in the electric fence illegally erected in a forest area belonging to the Department of Wildlife Conservation has been detected today. A resident in the area was reported to have planted manioc in a forest land belonging to the Department of Wildlife Conservation with the aim of claiming ownership of the land. It is also believed that this person has erected the electric cables with the aim of protecting his cultivation. The calf of between the age of 5 to 7 years was seen by residents roaming all by itself in the area for a period of around 2 years.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that in comparison to the figures of last year, the expenditure at the Prime Minister's office has been reduced by 48%. The staff comprising 500 employees has been reduced to 285, he says. Well, the expenditure at the Prime Minister's office, which amounted to 1,661 million rupees in 2021, has come down to 1,310 million rupees in 2022. The expenditure has been further reduced by nearly 706 million rupees this year. The cost of office stationery items has also been reduced by 74% due to the engaging in office duties using electronic systems. The process of responding to letters being received by the Prime Minister's office has been digitalized. It has also been pointed out that in the years of 2021 21 and 22. Prior to the period of the Prime Minister assuming duties, there were 178 office vehicles. However, today, the vehicle reserve is restricted to 125, just sufficient to meet the current service requirements. 15 million rupees were able to be saved by handing over maintenance work of the power generators to representative institutes by terminating agreements with the CEB. Speciality has been the further expanding of the responsibilities of the Prime Minister's office through an efficient financial management. The Prime Minister's office adds that restriction of the expenditure has not become an obstruction to fulfill the additional tasks without breaking out the services.
Here's more local news items in brief for you. State Minister Asoka Priyantha has presided over a special discussion looking into the professional problems of Grama Niladaris in the Vennapur Divisional Secretariat Division. The State Minister said on the occasion that all Grama Niladari vacancies will be fulfilled by the 4th of February next year. The Grama Niladari examination is scheduled to be conducted on the 2nd of December. The 87th birth anniversary of Lalit Atulat Mudali was commemorated in front of the Atulat Mudali statue in Cambridge Place in Colombo 7 today. Former Minister Ravi Karunanayake has presided over the event. A commemoration ceremony of Veera Muravila Kapitipola and Madugalle Nilames, who had given leadership to the rebellion of 1818, was held at the Mathile Library premises today. An all-court commemoration ceremony was conducted at the Ananda College, Colombo last evening. It was organized by the past pupils of the college, and the parliamentarian Iran Vikramaratne and Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Nandalal Veerasinghe, have also participated in the event. Annual Colours Night of the D.S. Senanayake College, Colombo was conducted at the RIT Als Hall of the college. Yesterday, the chief of the guest on the occasion was an old boy at the school and veteran tennis player Asiri Iddamalgoda. A group including Principal Sampath Veragoda has also attended. Colours were presented to more than 400 sportsmen who have recorded victories by competing in nearly 20 sports events in the years of 2019 and 2022. Special pink comers have been organized locally and internationally, as well as in connection with the ill full moon Poya Day.
And the annual Mahabodhi Meritorious Ceremony at the Sanchi Chaityagiri Vihara in India was held yesterday. And also it was held tomorrow as well. The Indian Madhya Pradesh government and also the Mahabodhi Society have jointly organized the Pinkama for the 71st occasion under the direction of the chief incumbent of the Sanchi Chaityagiri Vihara, the Venerable Banagala Upatisatera. The devotees are being accorded the opportunity on every ill moon Foya day to venerate the sacred relics. Newly constructed chamber of the relics in Valukarame in Valyar, Suryavaiva, was declared open this morning. It was constructed to the financial contributions of a group of devotees in Homagama. The Pinkama has been organized under the guidance of the chief incumbent of the Vihara, the Venerable Hambantuta Saddhananda Thero. The Katina ceremony of the Sri Javardhana Rama Vihara, Rajagiri, was conducted today under the patronage of the chief incumbent of the Vihara, the Venerable Godumune Lankananda Thera. The main organizer of the Katina Puja was the Sri Lanka Land Reclamation and Development Corporation. The annual Perahera of the historic Kasagala Rajamaha Vihara was paraded. Well, that's news at home. Time to take a short break, and we'll be back with international stories shortly.
Prima Kottumi, Fantamai.
வெளிநாட்டிலிருந்து பணத்தை மக்கள் வங்கிக்கு அனுப்பி வாராந்தம் 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய், மாதாந்தம் 1 மில்லியன் ரூபாய், ஆண்டிறுதியில் மாபெரும் சீட்டெழுப்பில் 1 கோடி ரூபாயினை வெல்லுங்கள். பீப்பிள்ஸ் ரெமிட்டன்ஸ் கோடி அதிர்ஷ்டம். நேரடியாக அனுப்புங்கள், பெரும் வெற்றி காணுங்கள்.
Welcome back to the news, and we move on to news overseas and moving on to the Israeli-Hamas situation. The tense ceasefire between Israel and Hamas appeared to be back on track after the release of a second group of militant-held hostages and also the Palestinians from the Israeli prisons.
However, the swap followed an hours-long delay that underscored the fragility of the truce. The exchange was delayed Saturday evening after the Hamas accused Israel of violating the agreement. This brought the first significant pause in 7 weeks of war marked by the deadliest Israeli-Palestinian violence in decades, which led to vast destruction and displacement across the Gaza Strip and a hostage crisis that has shaken Israel. Qatar and Egypt, which mediate with Hamas, announced late Saturday that the obstacles to the exchange has been overcome. The militants released 17 hostages, including 13 Israelis, while Israel freed 39 Palestinian prisoners. The war has already claimed the lives of more than 1,200 Israelis, mostly civilians, killed by Hamas in the initial attack. More than 13,300 Palestinians have been killed, roughly two-thirds of them women and minors. The 4-day ceasefire, which began Friday, was brokered by Qatar, Egypt and the United States. Hamas is to release at least 50 Israeli hostages and Israel 150 Palestinian prisoners. All are women and minors.
Well, meanwhile, Russia has launched its biggest drone attack on Kiev since its full-scale invasion of Ukraine began last year. Well, according to foreign reports, after wave after wave of attacks had taken place from the north and east, officials said more than 75 Iranian-made Shahid drones had fired at the capital. All but one were shot down. There have been reports of deaths from the attack, no reports, but at least 5 people were injured. Several buildings were damaged from the attack. Russia claimed it repelled the Ukrainian attacks in multiple directions in the past week, while Ukraine said its forces hit concentrations of Russian troops, weapons and military equipment. Russian armed forces inflicted 31 group strikes with high-precision weapons and unmanned aerial vehicles on Ukrainian military airfield infrastructure, arsenals, storage sites for artillery ammunition, weapons and military hardware, as well as fuel bases. Russian forces had also repelled Ukrainian attacks in the direction of Kupiansk and Krancy, Liman in the eastern Ukraine recently. During the past week, Ukrainian forces repelled more than 60 Russian assaults on axes of Kupiansk and Bakhmut and Adivyaka and also Mariinika in the eastern Ukraine region, according to foreign reports.
Moving on from Ukraine to China, we have this year's autumn migration of birds in China has reached the peak season, with around half of the migratory birds having already arrived in their destinations. So far, shorebirds and most species of Antidae have basically completed their autumn migration. China is among the countries with the richest bird resources in the world. It is home to 1,445 species of birds, accounting for 1/6 of the global total. Among them, more than 800 species of birds migrate annually. The country is also home to around 20% of global migratory bird species and 25% of all birds in the world.
Welcome back, and we are moving on to the world of sport. And firstly, the 3 inter-club cricket tournaments organized by the Sri Lanka Cricket is underway at present, and the match between SSC and Kandy Custom Cricket Club was held at the Colombo SSC grounds.
Batting first, SSC scored 454 runs for their first innings. Nonito Fernando scored 105 runs, while Dasun Shanaka scored 96 runs. The Kandy Custom side only managed to gather 312 runs for their first innings. The match between Negombo Cricket Club and Colts Cricket Club was held in Colombo Colts ground. Batting first, Negombo scored 147 runs. Colts managed to gather 220 runs for their innings. Colombo South managed to win the under-15 one-day league match played against Tambula. The league is organized by Sri Lanka Cricket. Batting first, Tambula only gathered 65 runs and Colombo South reached the target by scoring 68 runs to win the match. The Under-19 Throwball tournament, organized by Sri Lanka School Throwball Association, was commenced at the Ahaliaguda National School grounds yesterday. 190 schools are participating in the tournament and the finals will be held tomorrow.
And moving into tennis news, now this is stunning and unexpected. Jannik Sinner stunned Novak Djokovic as Italy beat Serbia to set up a Davis Cup final against Australia today.
Serbia took the lead in the semi-final when Mimori Kemanovic beat Lorenzo Musetti 7-9, 6-2 and 6-1 in the first singles rubber. But Sinner showed his class to beat world number 1 Djokovic 6-2, 2-6, 7-5 and leveled the tie. Sinner and Lorenzo Sonego and then defeated Djokovic and Kemanovic 6-3 and 6-4 in the doubles to secure a thrilling victory. Jannik Sinner has beaten Novak 3 times in 11 days and Djokovic had not lost a single tie for his country since the semi-final of 2011.
Well, that's the magic of sport, so unpredictable. On that note, we end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. Take care. And together with Hesha, this is Clifford, wishing you a good night.